Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm teaching you how to make this pull string unicorn piñata perfect for any birthday party. So what you're going to start off with is a regular latex balloon, the bigger the better, and you're just going to blow it up as big as you can until it creates this little swoop at the end. Then you're going to grab a piece of cardboard and 2 cups, one smaller than the other, and then with your largest one you're going to create a circle and cut that out. And you're going to puncture some holes in it, and that's going to be the pull string part. So after you're done puncturing some holes, you're going to set that to the side and you're going to cut a small one and bend it to the side to kind of fit the balloon. Then you're going to grab an upholstery needle, and you can find these anywhere, and you're going to puncture and kind of make a little loop, and that's what you're going to hang the piñata from. So just tie it up. Just to be extra careful, I put some glue on it, and then I also taped it down just to secure it. And then at the part of the very top of the balloon where you're actually going to hold up your piñata, just secure it down with some regular Scotch tape. So now go back to that pull string part, which I painted white, and then start feeding your pieces of string. Do as many as you can and then just cut it down, tie a knot, and then in the end I ended up tying all of those little knots together to secure it in place. And it should look like this. We're just prepping. You're going to put this to the side till later on. So then now on your balloon itself, you're going to take your smaller cup and you're going to make a circle at the bottom part. This is where your pull string part is going to fit in, and that's why it's smaller. So on regular newspaper, you're going to take the smaller cup and draw a circle, and then draw a bigger circle on top. And this is just going to be so that when you paper mache this on, it gives that circle a nice defined look. So it should look like little half donuts. And you're also going to cut some strips, and this is just to paper mache the rest of the balloon. So now to make the actual paper mache mixture, you're going to need equal parts of flour and water, and you're just going to mix that up really well until you get a nice like pancake batter consistency without any lumps. So once you're done, you're going to flip the balloon over to its side where you drew that circle, and you're going to add your donut pieces to that. So you're just going to dip your newspaper strips into that paper mache mixture, wring it out, and then start placing it onto the balloons. I started here because I wanted that circle part to be very defined, and then I just kept working my way with the other strips until I covered the entire balloon. You can start wherever you want. I just felt like this way was a lot more efficient. When you get to the very top, make sure that you're covering the actual pull part, because you want to make sure that this is nice and secure in the end. So you're going to do a few layers of paper mache. You can let them dry in between and then keep adding, because you want this to be nice and sturdy so all your candy doesn't rip out of this. So once everything has dried, you're going to pop your balloon. Mine popped on its own, and then you're going to take it out, and look how perfectly defined that hole is, which is exactly what you want. So since this is a pull string piñata and you're not going to be punching it or beating it with a bat, you can use some duct tape if you're extra paranoid like me about it ripping into pieces. So I just did some duct tape across each side just to make sure that everything has a nice hold to it. So then you're going to paint it with some white paint, just so that it doesn't show when you add your fluffy pieces. And then with your streamer, you're going to bunch it up into a few pieces just to make it a lot easier for you to cut down. And then with a pair of scissors, you're going to make little slits into it so that it looks nice and fluffy. So now with your white glue, any type of white glue will do, you're going to start adding your white pieces row by row. You can do this whatever direction that you like. I did the bottom first and then worked my way up, and then made sure that at the very front I kind of changed directions just so it looks, you know, like the actual mouth part. Also, don't worry too much about any lumps you may have because of the duct tape, because these white fluffy pieces cover everything up and you won't be able to tell. When you get to the very top, make sure that you cover it, because even though you're adding hair, if the hair happens to move out of the way, you will see the bottom part, so I just made sure to cover everything with the white pieces. So after everything, I was still left with an entire roll of streamer paper. So then I went in with some pink streamer paper and I just started to glue it up top as the unicorn hair. And I did as many layers as I could just to cover up the top piece. I really didn't worry too much about the bottom. So after everything was done, I did grab this filler paper from Dollar Tree, cut it into strips, and added it just to define the hair a little bit and make it look more magical. So now with the same cardboard paper I used earlier, I did draw what looked like large houses, and this is actually what I used as the ears. I wanted to do the ears later on because I wasn't sure where I wanted to place them, so I just made them large enough to where I can bend. Then I went in with some white paint and painted them white, and once they were painted white and dried fully, I went in with my fluffy paper and covered everything up. And it should look like this. Once everything is covered, I just bent it a bit so it stands straight up, added some hot glue, and placed it right where one of the streamers would be, if that makes any sense. And it should look like this. So now with a glitter foam sheet, I just drew the shape of an eye and cut it out along the lines, like a little bit above the lines, and this is what it should look like. I did hot glue this on, not regular glue. And then with some tissue paper, I just cut out little circles and used that as a little blush mark, just to give it some more details. And with regular printer paper, I just rolled it into a horn shape from one corner to the end, trying to do it as thin as possible. And then when I got to the very end, I just added some regular glue to it, folded it, and waited for it to dry, and then cut it down with some scissors. To make this a little sturdy, I did grab some of the leftover streamer paper and stuffed it inside. And then when it was nice and full, I did paint it. I spray painted mine gold, and it should look like this. That was also hot glued on. So you could leave it as is, but I decided to add some flowers. So with some streamer paper, I cut a long strip of streamer paper and then folded it 3/4 of the way down. And then I grabbed it and just bunched it all up in my hand. And once everything was nice and wrinkled, I added some glue to one end and started folding inward, kind of like a little burrito. And then I just added a strip of glue to the very bottom and just started to fold and kind of bunching up a few pieces as I'm folding to make it look like a flower. And just adding glue and continuing to do so until it looked nice and big. And you don't have to worry about the bottom. There's so much glue collecting that everything is just sticking to each other. So once you get to the very end, fold the last piece into itself with some glue, like a little triangle, and then tuck it to the bottom. Pinch, and your flower is done. And then I just hot glued a bunch of flowers on the crown to make it look pretty. So now to fill it with candy, I just flipped it over, and I just started adding all of my candy. And I'll show you at the end just how much candy fit into this. I could have actually placed some more. And then I added some confetti. And with my pull string, I just bent it, put it into the hole, positioned it, and grabbed my Loctite glue. Put it along the edges, and then pulled it into place and held it until it glued in place. So after about 10 seconds, this should be nice and secure and it won't slide anywhere. And that's it, guys. Your piñata is done and secure and should be ready for use. If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more DIYs. Thank you so much for watching.